The Wild West was a world of audacious outlaws, daring lawmen, and unbelievable tales that have stood the test of time. From fearless warriors who zigzagged through gunfire to legends who cheated death, the stories you'll hear today might seem stranger than fiction, but they're all rooted in history. Today, we'll take you through the bizarre tales of the Wild West, complete with rare photographs that bring these stories to life. Let's dive in and meet the unforgettable characters who define the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Wild West. Gano, the fearless Apache warrior. An outlaw who escaped the gallows by sheer nerve. Gano's story is one for the ages. Known as the one who yawns, Gano was a Mescalero Chiricahua Apache and a medicine man who had no clue how to fire a rifle. Yet what he lacked in weaponry, he made up for with unmatched bravery. When Mexican soldiers massacred his wife and children, Gano vowed vengeance. Guided by a vision from the mountain spirits, who promised, "You will not die in battle or by a gun," Gano began his relentless campaign. In one daring attack, he zigzagged through a storm of bullets, dodging fire as he closed in on his enemies. Armed with only a knife, he took down soldiers, seized their rifles, and retreated to his Apache comrades. This fearless tactic became his signature, striking terror into his foes who cried, "Geronimo!" whenever he attacked. Billy the Kid, the infamous outlaw. Henry McCarty, better known as Billy the Kid, was an American outlaw and gunfighter whose life was as short as it was legendary. By the age of 21, he had allegedly killed 21 men. With a $500 bounty on his head, Billy was eventually captured, tried, and sentenced to hang. When told he would hang dead, 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 he defiantly replied, "You can go to hell, hell, hell." But Billy wasn't one to go quietly. On April 28, 1881, he staged a daring escape. Convincing a deputy to escort him outside, he slipped from his cuffs, seized the deputy's gun, and shot him. Hiding on the courthouse roof, he taunted the sheriff with the words, "Look up, old boy, and see what you get," before escaping on horseback. Billy's bold exploits left chaos in his wake and cemented his legend. Tarantella Juice, a deadly Wild West cocktail. Imagine stepping into a saloon after a long day of hunting, only to be served a drink that could kill you. This was the reality of the Wild West, where saloons often concocted toxic brews to sell to thirsty cowboys. One notorious drink, Tarantella Juice, was laced with strychnine and wood grain alcohol distilled from turpentine. The effects were as shocking as they were deadly. The strychnine gave drinkers a jolt of energy, much like today's methamphetamine, but soon after, their skin would crawl as if tarantulas were running up and down their arms. This super creepy sensation was followed by violent muscle spasms and lockjaw, often ending in death. Would you dare take a sip of Tarantella Juice? Well, drop your answer in the comment below. Now, let's look at Annie Oakley, the Little Sure Shot. Annie Oakley, born Phoebe Ann Mosey, was a sharpshooter whose talent earned her global fame. Performing with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, Annie's skills even impressed Chief Sitting Bull, the Lakota leader who famously defeated General George Custer at Little Bighorn. In 1884, after watching her performance in Minnesota, Sitting Bull sent $65 to Annie's hotel, requesting her autograph. However, Annie declined the money and asked to meet him instead. The meeting left such an impression on the chief that he adopted her, giving her the nickname Watanya Cecilia, or Little Sure Shot. Their friendship continued through their time in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show, and Annie fondly referred to Sitting Bull as a dear, faithful old friend. Jesse James, the fearsome outlaw with a quirky nickname. Jesse James, the infamous train and bank robber, earned a fearsome reputation in the Wild West, but few know about his unusual nickname, Dingus. The story goes that as a teenager in 1864, Jesse accidentally shot off his own finger while cleaning a revolver. In pain, he cried out, "Oh, ding it," a phrase that stuck with him for life. Alongside his brother Frank, Jesse joined the notorious guerrilla group led by Bloody Bill Anderson during the Civil War. Later, the brothers turned to a life of crime, terrorizing banks, trains, and stagecoaches across the West. However, betrayal ended Jesse's reign in 1882 when a gang member, lured by a reward, shot him in the back. Wild Bill Hickok, the sharpshooter with a temper. Wild Bill Hickok's legend began with his first slaying in 1861. While working for the Pony Express in Nebraska, he shot a man who mocked him as Duck Bill due to his prominent nose. The incident escalated into a deadly altercation, marking the start of his infamous reputation. Hickok's skill with a gun became the stuff of legend. Tales claimed he could shoot the center of the letter O on a sign 6 times in a row from 50 yards away. With such a reputation, few dared to cross Wild Bill, whose name remains synonymous with the daring spirit of the Wild West. The Red Ghost, a camel that struck fear. In 1855, the U.S. Army imported camels to the West, believing the animals would thrive in the arid terrain of Texas. However, after the Civil War disrupted operations, many camels were released into the wild. One such camel, known as the Red Ghost, became the stuff of nightmares in Arizona. The creature trampled a woman to death and was rumored to have devoured a grizzly bear. Miners who encountered the Red Ghost were horrified when a human skull fell from its back, fueling speculation about its terrifying origins. Eventually, the Red Ghost was shot and revealed to be a feral camel, though sightings of wild camels persisted for decades. Buffalo Bill Cody, the showman of the Wild West. Buffalo Bill Cody turned the Wild West into a global spectacle. In 1887, he took his show across the Atlantic to perform at Queen Victoria's Jubilee. The entourage included over 200 performers and hundreds of animals, including buffalo, elk, and horses. The show caused quite a stir. When sharpshooter Annie Oakley shook hands with the Prince of Wales, she nearly sparked a diplomatic incident. However, the prince, charmed by the performance, persuaded Queen Victoria to attend. The event was a resounding success, with crowds of 30,000 flocking to see the Wild West in action. Buffalo Bill was ahead of his time, advocating for women's suffrage and stating that women who performed the same work as men deserved equal pay. His progressive stance, along with his legendary showmanship, cemented his place in history. Calamity Jane, the Angel of Deadwood. Calamity Jane's rough exterior hid a heart of gold. Immune to smallpox, she became a hero during an outbreak in Deadwood. Despite having no formal medical training, Jane cared for 8 stricken miners, nursing them back to health with homemade remedies like herbs and Epsom salt. The miners were quarantined in tents without running water, but Jane didn't abandon them. Armed with a gun, she ensured they had food and water, earning her the respect and gratitude of the entire town. 5 of the 8 miners survived thanks to her care, a testament to her grit and compassion. The Aurora UFO Incident. Cowboys meet aliens. The Aurora UFO Incident of 1897 is one of the Wild West's strangest stories. According to reports from the Dallas Morning News, an airship crashed into a windmill in Aurora, Texas, causing a massive explosion. Among the wreckage, townsfolk discovered a disfigured pilot described as not of this world. The mysterious pilot was buried in Aurora Cemetery with a marker commemorating the event. Decades later, the story resurfaced, sparking debates about its authenticity. Skeptics claimed the tale was fabricated to attract attention to the small town, but the incident remains a captivating piece of Wild West folklore. The OK Corral Gunfight. 30 seconds of mayhem. The gunfight at the OK Corral, which occurred in 1881 in Tombstone, Arizona, is arguably the most famous shootout in Wild West history. Though often portrayed as a long, dramatic showdown in movies, the actual event lasted just 30 seconds. In that brief span, over 30 shots were fired, leaving 3 men dead and 2 injured. The gunfight was the culmination of a bitter feud between the Earp brothers, Wyatt, Virgil, and Morgan, and the Clanton-McClory gang. The conflict symbolized the lawlessness of the frontier, where justice was often delivered at the barrel of a gun. Despite its brevity, the shootout at the OK Corral became a defining moment of the Wild West, immortalized in countless films, books, and legends. Seth Bullock and Al Saringan, the real figures behind Deadwood. HBO's Deadwood brought the Wild West to life with its gritty portrayal of the infamous gold mining town. But did you know that Seth Bullock and Al Saringan, two central characters in the show, were real historical figures? Seth Bullock, a hardware store owner turned lawman, worked tirelessly to maintain order in the rough-and-tumble town of Deadwood. Known for his stern demeanor and unshakable moral code, Bullock became a respected figure in the community. Al Saringan, on the other hand, embodied the darker side of frontier life. As the owner of the Gem Variety Theater, Saringan profited from gambling, drinking, and other less savory activities. Despite their differences, Bullock and Saringan shared a mutual respect, each carving out their own domain in Deadwood. Their contrasting legacies reflect the duality of the Wild West, a place of both opportunity and chaos. James Beckworth, the blowhard storyteller. James Beckworth, also known as the blowhard storyteller, lived a life as vibrant and expansive as the untamed West itself. Born to a Revolutionary War officer and his enslaved mother, Beckworth defied the odds from the start. Educated in Missouri, he ventured west with the Rocky Mountain Fur Trading Company in the 1820s, where he quickly earned a reputation as a skilled scout and explorer. His career was a tapestry of daring exploits, from his discovery of Beckworth Pass to his service under General John C. Fremont. Beckworth played significant roles in numerous conflicts between Anglo settlers and Native Americans, contributing to the establishment of Pueblo, Colorado's early forts. However, Beckworth's life was not without embellishment. In his autobiography, The Adventures of James P. Beckworth, he spun tales of being captured by the Crow tribe, even claiming to have been mistaken for a chief's lost son and marrying a chief's daughter. His romantic endeavors were equally exaggerated, as seen in his misrepresentation of his marriage to Louisa Sandal, whom he inaccurately named Señorita Louis Sandville. Despite these embellishments, Beckworth's tales continue to captivate readers, offering a colorful glimpse into the adventurous spirit of the Old West and the indomitable character of one of its most fascinating figures. Gambling, the Wild West's game of chance. Gambling was more than just a pastime in the Wild West. It was a cornerstone of frontier culture and economy. From the glitz of Las Vegas to today's online betting boom, gambling has always been part of the American spirit. Back in the Old West, venturing westward was a gamble in itself, a risky journey where survival was uncertain. Pioneers braved the unknown, relying on luck as they set out for new horizons. By the time they reached their destination, that daring spirit was ingrained, and gambling became a natural pastime to pass the time and make ends meet. In those rough and tumble days, gambling was more than just a game. It was a respected profession akin to doctors and lawyers. Professional card sharks roamed from town to town, engaging in high-stakes games where fortunes could be won or lost in a single hand. Cheating was not uncommon, with some players resorting to underhanded tactics to beat their opponents before skipping town with their winnings. California, in particular, became a hotspot for gamblers in the 19th century, drawing skilled card players seeking their fortune in the frontier. Gambling wasn't just a hobby, it was a way of life, a pursuit that shaped the culture and economy of the Wild West. In the West, where risks were taken daily, gambling was more than a game. It was an integral part of the pioneer experience, a testament to the bold spirit of those who ventured to the edge of civilization. A mountain of bison skulls, the price of progress. The image of a mountain of bison skulls is both haunting and emblematic of the ecological devastation of the Wild West. Bison, once numbering in the millions, were hunted to near extinction during the 19th century. Each skull in the photograph represents not just a loss of life, but the disruption of an entire ecosystem. Bison were a keystone species, shaping the prairie environment through their grazing, wallowing, and migratory patterns. Their decline had a ripple effect, impacting countless other species that relied on the habitats they created. The mass slaughter of bison wasn't just about hunting. It was a deliberate strategy to undermine Native American communities, for whom the bison was a vital resource. This grim chapter of history serves as a stark reminder of the cost of westward expansion. Women doctors, pioneers of the frontier. Women doctors played a crucial role in the Wild West, breaking societal barriers and providing essential medical care in harsh and often lawless environments. Despite facing immense challenges, these pioneering women demonstrated remarkable resilience and compassion. Bethania Owens Adair attended medical school in Michigan in the 1870s before moving to Oregon. She hiked overgrown trails and braved floods to reach her patients, ensuring that settlers and miners received the care they desperately needed. Mary Purvine moved west from New England to work as a doctor after growing up in New England, where she cared for her mother's broken arm. She enrolled in medical school at Wilmette University and demonstrated extraordinary dedication by delivering babies in treacherous conditions. In one instance, she braved a snowstorm and a flooded river to deliver a baby, earning the child's parents' gratitude despite the baby's challenging disposition. These women not only provided medical services, but also laid the groundwork for future generations of female physicians. So, what do you think about the Wild West now? Well, let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content about the fascinating content like this.